The Kraxan mothership emerged from hyperspace in a brilliant flash of purple light, its massive crystalline hull casting prismatic shadows across the moon's surface. Admiral Naira stood on the command bridge, her iridescent scales shifting colors as she surveyed the blue planet below. Earth, so rich in resources, so seemingly defenseless. The perfect target for their expansion. Status report, she commanded, her auxiliary breathing gills flexing with anticipation. All systems nominal, Admiral, replied Commander Vex, his tentacled appendages dancing across the holographic controls. The humans are detecting our presence exactly as planned. Their primitive scanning systems are registering us as a single, smaller vessel. Intelligence Officer Kara Richardson watched the alien ship materialize on her quantum imaging array deep within NORAD's Cheyenne Mountain complex. Something wasn't right. The energy signature was all wrong, too diffused, too carefully contained. After 15 years analyzing deep space anomalies, she developed an instinct for deception. General Hammond, she called out, her eyes never leaving the display, I'm detecting unusual pattern variations in their approach vector. They're masking something. The general approached her station, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of the monitors. Explain. The energy dispersal pattern suggests a much larger mass than what we're seeing. I believe they're using some kind of advanced cloaking technology. Kara pulled up comparative analyses, her fingers flying across the touchscreen. Look at these harmonic resonances, they're identical to the theoretical models we developed after studying the crashed scout ship in Kazakhstan. Above the Earth, Admiral Naira initiated the next phase of their plan. Begin the diplomatic broadcast, she ordered. Remember, we must maintain the illusion of peaceful contact for exactly 48 Earth hours. That's how long our analysts calculate it will take to position our entire fleet without detection. The message beamed toward Earth was carefully crafted, greetings of peace, offers of technological exchange, promises of brotherhood among the stars. But even as the words of friendship reached human receivers, 12,000 Kraxan warships waited in dimensional pocket space, ready to emerge and strike. In the White House Situation Room, President Regina Walsh listened to the alien transmission with growing unease. The Joint Chiefs sat around her, faces grim as they processed Kara Richardson's report. Ms. Richardson, the President addressed the intelligence officer's video feed, you're certain about this assessment? Yes, Madam President. The energy signatures don't lie. What's more, I've detected quantum entanglement patterns consistent with pocket dimension anchoring, the same technology we reversed engineered from the Kazakhstan crash site. They could be hiding an entire armada. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had spent the last decade secretly preparing for this possibility, ever since the first piece of alien technology had been recovered. Underground facilities around the globe housed weapons and defenses that officially didn't exist. The question was, should they reveal their hand, or play along with the charade? What do we know about their vulnerabilities? President Walsh asked. The Kazakhstan wreckage showed their crystalline technology is susceptible to specific frequencies of electromagnetic pulse weapons, replied General Hammond. We've adapted our defensive systems accordingly. But if we tip our hand too soon, they'll simply adjust their approach, Kara finished. We need to let them think they have the advantage. The closer they get to executing their real plan, the harder it will be for them to change course. Admiral Naira stood before the massive hologram of Earth, satisfaction evident in her bioluminescent patterns. Everything was proceeding according to plan. The humans were responding with appropriate awe and excitement to their peaceful overtures. Their primitive military forces remained in a standard defensive posture, nothing to suggest they suspected the truth. 12 hours until the diplomatic delegation departs, Commander Vex reported. The human leaders have agreed to host our representatives in their United Nations facility. Excellent, Naira purred. And the dimensional pocket anchors? All in position, Admiral. The moment you give the order, our entire fleet can emerge simultaneously at every major population center. But deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Kara Richardson was piecing together the final elements of the puzzle. The aliens' energy signatures matched perfectly with theoretical models for mass displacement technology. They weren't just hiding ships, they were hiding enough firepower to glass the planet. She sent the encoded warning to every major military installation on Earth, Crimson Dawn protocol activated. Around the globe, hidden bunkers hummed to life. Quantum-enhanced defense grids powered up in perfect silence. And in laboratories buried beneath the ice of Antarctica, engineers made final adjustments to weapons the aliens couldn't possibly expect. The greatest advantage in war, after all, is convincing your enemy they've already won. As the first alien diplomatic shuttle began its descent toward New York, humanity waited in the shadows, ready to showcase just how dangerous an underestimated species could be. President Walsh stood at the window of the Oval Office, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of purple reminiscent of the alien ship's hull. "How long until they realize we know?" she asked. "They won't," Kara replied through the secure channel. "Not until it's too late. Everything is in position. We just need to maintain the illusion for another 24 hours." The president nodded, her reflection determined in the darkening glass. "Then let's give them the performance of a lifetime." The United Nations General Assembly hall buzzed with nervous energy as the Kraxan delegation made their entrance. 7 tall, crystalline beings glided down the central aisle, their scaled bodies catching the light like living prisms. At their head walked Ambassador ZYX, chosen specifically for his ability to project an aura of benevolence that would put the humans at ease. In the observation gallery, Director James Blackwood of the Global Defense Initiative watched through augmented reality contacts that revealed what standard vision couldn't: the subtle energy weapons hidden within the alien ceremonial garments, the quantum communication devices embedded in their scales. His cybernetic implants, invisible to the alien scanning technology, transmitted everything to the GDI's command center. "They're armed, as expected," he sub-vocalized through the neural link. "Counting at least 3 different weapon types. Should I alert security?" "Negative," came Kara Richardson's voice in his head. "Let them keep thinking they have the advantage. Orbital Defense Platform 6 just confirmed the pocket dimension signatures are intensifying. They're moving their fleet into final position." Ambassador ZYX raised his upper appendages in what the Kraxan behavioral scientists had determined would be interpreted as a peaceful gesture. "People of Earth," his translator device conveyed in perfect English, "we come bearing gifts of knowledge and technology. Let this day mark the beginning of a great partnership between our civilizations." The assembled diplomats applauded, playing their parts perfectly. None of them revealed that humanity had already mastered technologies far beyond what the Kraxan were offering as bait. The bunkers beneath their feet housed quantum computers that made the alien systems look primitive. The satellites in orbit weren't just for communication, they were weapon platforms disguised as weather monitors. Admiral Naira watched the broadcast from her command ship, mandibles clicking in satisfaction. "How much longer until the fleet is fully positioned?" 3 hours, Admiral, Commander Vex reported. "Our dimensional anchors are at 97% stability. The humans suspect nothing. Their military forces remain at standard readiness levels." But those readiness levels were an elaborate illusion. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the Leviathan base activated its quantum shielding. Inside the sprawling underwater facility, rows of mechanized battle suits powered up, their pilots already linked to the neural interface systems. Colonel Sophia Patel surveyed her troops, 10,000 soldiers augmented with technology reversed engineered from not just the Kazakhstan crash, but 3 other alien wrecks that had been kept secret from the world. "All units report ready," her XO confirmed. "Waiting for Crimson Dawn authorization." In the Sahara Desert, what appeared to be endless sand dunes shimmered and vanished, revealing the massive form of the Hyperion Array, a weapon designed to turn the aliens' own dimensional technology against them. Dr. Rashid Kumar stood at the control center, monitoring the power buildup. Years of studying the Kraxen's quantum signature was about to pay off. Energy levels optimal, he reported to GDI command. Ready to initiate on your mark. The Kraxen delegation continued their performance at the UN, showcasing holograms of medical advances and clean energy systems that humanity had secretly surpassed years ago. Ambassador ZYX was in the middle of demonstrating their revolutionary, faster-than-light communication device when the first alert reached Admiral Naira. Admiral, we're detecting unusual energy fluctuations from the planet's polar regions, a sensor operator reported. Analyze and report, she ordered, irritation flickering across her scales. Nothing in their intelligence suggested the humans possessed any technology that could interfere with their systems. Commander Vex studied the readings, his confidence wavering for the first time. The signatures, they're similar to our dimensional technology, but the modulation is different. More advanced. Impossible, Naira snapped. These primitives barely understand space travel. How could they? Her words were cut off by a massive energy surge from Earth. Suddenly, quantum sensors across the Kraxen fleet began screaming alerts. Their dimensional pocket spaces were destabilizing, but not collapsing, they were being forced open prematurely. President Walsh stood in the Cheyenne Mountain Command Center, watching as humanity's trap began to spring. Status report. Hyperion Array is functioning perfectly, Kara reported. Their cloaked fleet is being pulled into normal space exactly where we want them. Leviathan Base reports all units ready for engagement. Orbital platforms are charged and targeted. At the UN, Ambassador ZYX received the emergency signal. Their invasion fleet was being exposed. He gave the order his superiors had prepared for such a circumstance: immediate termination of the diplomatic charade and elimination of all witnesses. But when the Kraxen delegation activated their weapons, nothing happened. The quantum dampening field in the General Assembly Hall had been active since their arrival, rendering their technology useless. Security teams emerged from hidden panels in the walls, wearing powered armor that made them tower over the alien ambassadors. Director Blackwood smiled coldly as he approached the now-trapped delegation. Ambassador ZYX, I'm afraid there's been a change of plans. Your fleet is about to learn a valuable lesson about underestimating humanity. Above the Earth, Admiral Naira watched in horror as 12,000 Kraxen warships were dragged into normal space, directly into the firing solutions of weapons they never knew existed. The planet's primitive satellites transformed, revealing arrays of quantum-based weaponry that outmatched anything in the Kraxen arsenal. How, she demanded. How did they hide all this? The answer came in the form of a transmission from the surface. President Walsh's voice filled the command bridge, carrying the weight of a species that had spent decades preparing for this moment. Admiral Naira, perhaps it's time we had an honest discussion about humanity's place in the galaxy. The trap was sprung. Now the real battle would begin. Admiral Naira's command ship shuddered as another quantum blast from Earth's orbital defense grid struck their shields. The once proud Kraxen fleet, caught in humanity's trap, was scattered and disorganized. Warning signals blared across the bridge as system after system reported critical failures. How are these primitives penetrating our defenses? She roared, her bioluminescent patterns flashing with rage. Our shields are based on technology that took us millennia to perfect. Commander Vex's tentacles flew across the control interfaces, desperately trying to stabilize their failing systems. Admiral, their weapons, they're not just copies of our technology. They've improved upon it. The modulation patterns are unlike anything in our database. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, Colonel Sophia Patel led the first wave of Leviathan Base's assault. 10,000 mechanized battle suits erupted from hidden underwater launch tubes, their quantum drives allowing them to move through water as easily as air. The suits' neural interfaces gave their pilots superhuman reaction times, making them more than a match for the Kraxen's elite warriors. Hammerhead Squadron, engage targets in Sector 7, Sophia commanded, her own suit rocketing toward a Kraxen dropship attempting to deploy ground forces. Barracuda team, protect those coastal population centers. Show them why you don't mess with humanity. The alien ship never saw her coming. Sophia's quantum blade, reverse-engineered from the Kazakhstan crash site but enhanced with human innovations, cut through their hull like paper. The Kraxan troops inside, so confident in their natural armor, discovered too late that humanity had specifically designed weapons to counter their biological advantages. In the Sahara, Dr. Rashid Kumar watched with satisfaction as the Hyperion array continued to disrupt the aliens' dimensional technology. They still haven't figured it out, he reported to GDI Command. Every time they try to open a pocket dimension for reinforcements, we're able to redirect the portal energy. Their own troops are being scattered across the solar system. President Walsh studied the holographic battle map in Cheyenne Mountain, watching as humanity's hidden strength was finally revealed. Decades of preparation, trillions in secret funding, and technological breakthroughs that had been kept from the public eye, all for this moment. Director Blackwood, she called, status of the UN delegation. Secured, Madam President, he replied through the neural link. Ambassador ZYX is quite cooperative now that he's seen what we're capable of. His biological data is already helping our scientists refine our weapons further. In orbit, the battle took an even more dramatic turn. The orbital defense platforms, their true nature now revealed, began implementing attack pattern, solar storm. Quantum beams lanced out in precise coordination, herding the Kraxan fleet into a tactical kill zone. Admiral Naira watched in growing horror as her ships were systematically trapped and disabled. The humans weren't just fighting back, they were executing a strategy that had been years in the making. Every move they made seemed designed to counter Kraxan tactics that had conquered 100 worlds. Admiral, Commander Vex's voice shook, we're detecting massive energy buildups in Earth's polar regions. They're activating something else. Before Naira could respond, the sky itself seemed to tear open. The Aurora cannon, humanity's ultimate defensive weapon, powered up for the first time. Built in secret beneath the Arctic ice, it channeled the electromagnetic energy of the Earth's magnetic field into a weapon of unprecedented power. Attention Kraxan fleet, President Walsh's voice broadcasted across all frequencies. You have one chance to surrender. Your dimensional technology is neutralized. Your weapons are ineffective. Your ground forces are being decimated. The next demonstration will not be a warning shot. To emphasize her point, the Aurora cannon fired. A beam of pure energy, visible from orbit, lanced out and struck an uninhabited moon of Jupiter. The celestial body cracked like an egg, its fragments dispersing into space. In the Leviathan Base Command Center, Colonel Patel received new tactical data through her neural link. The Kraxan ground forces were retreating worldwide, their supposedly invincible warriors broken by humanity's superior battlefield technology. Reports streamed in from all theaters, New Delhi, Lagos, Buenos Aires, everywhere the aliens had tried to gain a foothold, they had been repelled. They really thought we were defenseless, Sophia commented to her XO as they watched another Kraxan ship fall to their quantum weapons. That we'd never seen their kind before. That was their mistake, her XO replied. They assumed finding a single crashed ship meant they knew everything about us. They never considered we might have found others, learned from them, improved upon them. Admiral Naira stood on her failing bridge, watching as her mighty fleet was systematically dismantled by the very species they had dismissed as primitive. The humans had turned their own technological advantages against them, but more than that, they had innovated, adapted, and evolved beyond anything the Kraxan had thought possible. Admiral, Commander Vex reported, his voice heavy with defeat, we're receiving surrender signals from over 60% of our remaining ships. The humans have developed a way to disable our self-destruct systems. We can't even deny them our technology. As the Aurora cannon powered up for another demonstration shot, Naira finally understood. The humans hadn't just prepared for this invasion, they had been waiting for it, planning for it, using the Kraxan's own arrogance as a weapon against them. The trap wasn't just military, it was psychological. President Walsh's voice came through one final time. "Admiral Naira, shall we discuss the terms of your unconditional surrender? Or would you prefer another demonstration of humanity's capabilities?" The mighty Kraxan fleet, pride of an interstellar empire, had been outplayed by a species they had gravely underestimated. As Admiral Naira gave the order to stand down, she couldn't help but wonder how many other, primitive, species were hiding similar surprises among the stars. The holding cell's quantum containment field hummed softly as Admiral Naira faced President Walsh through its transparent barrier. The once proud Kraxan leader's scales had dulled, their usual iridescent shine faded by the reality of defeat. "You never reveal all your advantages at once," President Walsh stated, studying the alien commander. "That's something your species should have learned in your centuries of conquest. We still have surprises left." Naira's auxiliary breathing gills fluttered in agitation. "The High Command will never accept this defeat. They'll send a second fleet." Walsh interrupted. "We're counting on it. In fact, we've already detected their approach through hyperspace. Your surrender signal was quite effective in drawing them out." Deep in the Kuiper Belt, humanity's most closely guarded secret was about to be revealed. Station Prometheus, a massive construction hidden among the ice and debris, powered up its primary systems. The facility, built using technology from not just the Kraxan crash sites but from 3 other alien species' failed attempts to scout Earth, represented the pinnacle of human innovation. Dr. Elena Volkov, lead scientist of Project Prometheus, monitored the incoming data streams. The neural augments beneath her silver hair pulsed with activity as she coordinated with systems across the solar system. "Second Kraxan fleet has breached the outer system boundary," she reported to GDI Command. 30,000 ships, just as we predicted. Significantly larger than the first wave. Director Blackwood's voice came through the quantum comm. "Time to show them our final card. Initiate Protocol Omega." In the Cheyenne Mountain complex, Kara Richardson worked with her team to coordinate the solar system's defensive grid. The orbital platforms around Earth were just the beginning. Humanity had spent years seeding the entire system with hidden weapons and sensors. "All stations report ready," she announced. "Prometheus array charging at optimal levels. Dimensional corridors are aligned." The second Kraxan fleet, led by Supreme Commander Krell, emerged from hyperspace in a massive display of force. Their ships, more advanced than the first wave, filled the space between Neptune and Uranus. "No signs of enemy response," Krell's tactical officer reported. "Their orbital defenses remain focused around their homeworld." Krell's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. They exhausted their surprises against Naira's fleet. "Begin deployment pattern." His orders were cut short as space itself seemed to twist around them. Station Prometheus activated its primary weapon, a device that made the Aurora cannon look like a child's toy. The station's true purpose was revealed as it generated a localized artificial singularity, a controlled black hole positioned in the heart of the Kraxan formation. "By the ancestors," Krell whispered as ships began to be torn apart by gravitational forces their shields were never designed to resist. "What kind of demons have we awakened?" Supreme Commander, his science officer, called out in panic, "The singularity, it's not just destroying our ships. It's redirecting them. They're being pulled through artificial wormholes." Dr. Volkov allowed herself a small smile as she watched the Prometheus array perform exactly as designed. Dimensional translocation successful. Confirming target coordinates, they're being scattered across different galaxies, too far apart to regroup. The Kraxan's mighty armada was being dismantled not through direct combat, but through the most advanced application of physics humanity had ever achieved. Ships that weren't torn apart by gravitational forces found themselves suddenly deposited in random star systems throughout the known universe, their hyperspace drives burned out by the transition. In her cell, Admiral Naira watched the tactical display with a mixture of horror and awe. How long have you had this capability?" "Long enough," President Walsh replied. We learn from every species that tried to scout us. Your crashed ship in Kazakhstan wasn't the first, Admiral. It was just the one we let you find. The implications hit Naira like a physical blow. The other crash sites, they were from different species. For different civilizations, Walsh confirmed. Each thinking they were the first to discover us. Each contributing pieces to our technological evolution. We learned from their mistakes, their technologies, their tactics. And we improved upon all of it. Supreme Commander Krell's flagship fought against the gravitational forces as the artificial singularity continued its work. Retreat, he ordered, but it was too late. The few ships that managed to enter hyperspace found their corridors twisted and redirected by human technology that defied their understanding. Dr. Volkov monitored the final phase of Protocol Omega. 90% of enemy fleet neutralized. The remaining ships are so widely scattered it would take them centuries to regroup, even if their drives were functional. In the holding cell, President Walsh faced Admiral Naira one final time. Now, shall we discuss the terms of your empire's complete surrender? And perhaps more importantly, the new role humanity will play in galactic affairs? Naira could only stare at the tactical display, watching as humanity demonstrated mastery over forces her civilization had barely begun to understand. They hadn't just defeated the Kraxan, they had fundamentally changed the balance of power among the stars. The message would soon spread across the galaxy: Earth was not a primitive world ripe for conquest. It was the graveyard of empires, a planet whose inhabitants had turned every attempted invasion into an opportunity to grow stronger. Humanity had not just survived, they had turned the entire solar system into a trap for any who would dare threaten their home. And they were just getting started. 1 year after the Kraxan defeat, the Galactic Assembly convened for the first time with humanity in attendance. The massive chamber, located in neutral space near the Andromeda Galaxy's edge, buzzed with nervous energy as Earth's delegation took their seats. Representatives from 100 spacefaring civilizations watched with a mixture of fear and curiosity as Director Blackwood, now Earth's ambassador to the stars, approached the central podium. The chamber's design was meant to intimidate newcomers, each species section floating on anti-gravity platforms arranged in towering tiers. But the human delegation showed no signs of being impressed. Their quantum-enhanced diplomatic suits, sleek and understated, concealed more advanced technology than most of the chamber's security systems. Esteemed members of the Assembly, Blackwood began, his voice carrying naturally through the vast space, we come not as conquerors, despite what you may have heard about our defense of Earth. We come as guardians of a new principle, peaceful coexistence through strength. In Earth orbit, the newly commissioned Guardian Station demonstrated that principle. The massive installation, built using knowledge gained from all 5 alien civilizations that had attempted to infiltrate Earth, served as both a defensive platform and a message to the galaxy. Its quantum cores pulsed with enough energy to be visible from light years away, a deliberate show of force. Dar. Elena Volkov, now director of the Global Defense Initiative's Science Division, supervised the station's final calibrations. The facility represented humanity's new approach to galactic relations, transparent power rather than hidden strength. Station's defensive grid is operating at full capacity, she reported through her neural link. The diplomatic feed is being broadcast across all known frequencies. Let them see exactly what they're dealing with. In the assembly chamber, the Kraxan representative, no longer an admiral but a civilian diplomat, rose to speak. We support humanity's admission to the assembly, they announced, their once proud voice humble. Our civilization has learned the cost of underestimating them. Let our experience serve as a lesson. President Walsh, watching the proceedings from the Oval Office, allowed herself a moment of reflection. The holographic display showed not just the assembly but real-time feeds from across human space. Colonies on Mars and Europa thrived under quantum domes. The Jupiter shipyards produced vessels that combined technologies from multiple civilizations with human innovation. Status report, she requested. Kara Richardson's voice came through the secure channel. All systems nominal, Madam President. The Prometheus array has been fully integrated with the solar system's defense grid. We've detected 3 different species attempting long-range scans of Earth in the past week alone. All of them backed off as soon as we revealed our detection capabilities. In the assembly, Director Blackwood continued his address. Earth extends an open invitation to all peaceful species. Our universities are prepared to begin exchange programs. Our scientists are eager to collaborate on new technologies. But know this, we will never again be seen as an easy target. The price of aggression against Earth or any of our allies will be swift and absolute. To emphasize his point, a hologram appeared above the chamber, a real-time demonstration of the Prometheus array's capabilities. The artificial singularity technology that had scattered the Kraxan fleet was now being used to create stable wormholes, offering unprecedented travel opportunities to friendly species while serving as a reminder of humanity's defensive capabilities. Colonel Sophia Patel, commanding the honor guard at the assembly, watched the reactions of the various alien representatives. Her battle suit sensors detected everything from fear to admiration to calculation. Some species were already drafting alliance proposals. Others were quietly canceling their own plans for expansion. Interesting readings from the Zentari delegation, she sub-vocalized to GDI command. Their biochemical signatures suggest they're reconsidering their recent military buildup. In deep space, beyond the edge of the solar system, Station Prometheus had been joined by its siblings, a network of facilities that could detect, analyze, and if necessary, neutralize threats from anywhere in the galaxy. Humanity had learned from the Kraxan's mistake: never rely on a single type of technology, never assume your enemies can't innovate, and never reveal all your capabilities at once. Dr. Rashid Kumar, monitoring the network from the Hyperion array, smiled as new data streamed in. The assembly members are conducting active scans of our technology. Just as we expected. Let them see exactly how far ahead we are, and how much further we can go if provoked. Back in the assembly chamber, Director Blackwood concluded his address. The age of imperial expansion through force is over. Earth stands ready to defend not just ourselves, but any civilization that seeks peaceful coexistence. We have seen the future of warfare, and we choose instead to be guardians of peace. The chamber erupted in a mix of applause and murmured discussions. Humanity had transformed from an unknown primitive species to a major galactic power in less than a year. Their technology, their tactics, and most importantly, their philosophy of strength through innovation had changed the cosmic balance forever. President Walsh ended her observation of the assembly with a sense of satisfaction. Humanity had not only survived its first major interstellar crisis, it had emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. The stars were no longer a source of threat but a frontier of opportunity. In her holding cell, now converted into a diplomatic residence, Admiral Naira watched Earth's presentation to the assembly. Her scales shifted color with emotion as she realized the full scope of what her invasion had unleashed. The Kraxan had sought to conquer a primitive world, but instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. The message to the galaxy was clear: Earth was open for peaceful contact but prepared for any aggression. Humanity had taken its place among the stars not through conquest but through the power of innovation, adaptation, and the unshakable will to defend their home. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the scattered remnants of the Kraxan's second fleet served as a permanent reminder: never underestimate the species that had turned their every defeat into a stepping stone toward the stars. The age of human isolation was over. The era of human guardianship had begun.